So I'm about to turn 40 in, well, a couple of days' time. And over the last year, I've really been doing a lot of introspection, working on my health, but also creating or curating a list of things I feel like I've learnt in my life so far in my first 40 years. And today I wanted to share that list with you. Please let me know in the comments below if any of these things resonate with you or if you disagree with me. We're all on our own life journeys and I'm curious to hear what lessons you've learnt so far in your life. Here's mine. Number 1, love is not enough to make a good relationship or marriage. You really need to be compatible. So before you commit to someone, you need to sit down and talk about things like, do you want kids or not? If so, how many? How much money do you need to live? Like, what's your philosophy of money management? Where do you want to live? What sort of lifestyle do you want? What are your beliefs? Because you either need to agree on these things or you need to agree to disagree before you're willing to commit. You know, I've had someone in my life in the past who I loved a great deal, but we really weren't compatible. Whereas my husband now, thankfully, we are very compatible and I love him very much. So this is a hard lesson to learn, especially when you're young and full of passion, or you meet someone who sweeps you off your feet. But at the end of the day, if you're not compatible, it won't work in the long term. Number 2, I don't believe there's any external purpose or meaning to life. And this is simultaneously exhilarating and terrifying because it's up to me to figure out what the meaning of my life is and what I want to do with it. Number 3 is eat enough protein. I've only really learned the importance of eating enough protein in the last year because when we age, something called sarcopenia happens, which is muscle loss. After the age of 30, if you don't actively work on gaining or maintaining your muscle, you start to lose it. And you can only keep it via strength training and eating enough protein to maintain it. So eat enough protein because I don't know about you, but I want to be a strong and healthy old woman one day. Number 4, the older I get, the more I realize we don't know what we think we know. And this goes not only for us personally, but I think humanity as a whole, as a species, we're so confident about so many things that we really don't know for sure. It's a theory. You know, even science is a theory, right? You know, you have a hypothesis and then you have your best guess or best proof of what the truth is. And there's still so much that we really don't understand yet. Number 5, there's no destination in life except for death. And all we really have is the journey. All we have is this moment here right now. We can't go back to the past. We can't rush forward into the future. Literally all we have is this exact moment now. And we need to focus more on this moment rather than, you know, looking into the past or wondering about the future. Number 6, your health, your physical and mental health, they're the same thing, really, as far as I'm concerned, is the most valuable thing you will ever own or ever have. If you don't have your health, so much goes wrong and it's so much harder to live a happy, fulfilling life. So focusing on being as healthy as you can possibly be in your life and your body, I think is incredibly important. Number 7, choosing the right or wrong life partner has an enormous impact on your success and your happiness. So choose wisely. Number 8, focus on what you can do today, right now. And then tomorrow, repeat the good things and try not to repeat the bad ones. Number 9, your daily actions, your habits and your systems day to day are what will lead you to success, not a goal. We focus, I think, too much on goals and not enough on habits and systems because, again, all we have is this moment, all we have is today. So if we're focusing on putting good habits and systems into our life, we will inevitably become successful because we've crafted our life around those habits of success. Number 10, always have something in your life that you are looking forward to and always have something that you are working towards or working on. Number 11 is a good old saying, but it's true. If it's to be, it's up to me. It's not anyone else's responsibility to make my life anything, really. It's my responsibility to make my life what I want it. Number 12 is almost nothing in life is black and white. There's shades of grey in almost everything. And I think it's really easy to fall into black, white, left, right, up, down thinking, falling to a pole of one or the other. And I think it's really important to remember and try to sit with the shades of grey in the middle of things. And it's really hard to do, but I think it's also really valuable. Number 13, holding on to anger and frustration really doesn't do anything except hurt yourself. Number 14, don't let who you think you are or who you think you should be get in the way of becoming who you actually want to be. Something might happen in your life that'll make you change your direction or change what you value. And it's really hard to let go of those old things, but you need to let go of those old things in order to allow space for the new. Number 15 is that nobody really knows what they're doing. We really don't. We're all winging it. Every single one of us. Every single one of us is getting up in the morning and doing our best to figure out what the hell we're doing with our lives. And I think when you realize that, it makes it a lot easier to realize we're all in the same boat together and nobody's perfect. Nobody has it all figured out. Number 16 is if you do choose a life partner, make sure it's somebody who loves you exactly as you are. They don't want to change anything about you. They don't want you to act differently or be differently. It should be the person who basically just gets you as you are and loves you as you are now. It should be, the person you choose should be the one person in the world that you don't have to wear a mask for, that you can be completely yourself with. That's what will bring you happiness in that relationship. And just freedom and comfort as well. Number 17 is to spend as much time as possible in the circle of control and as little time as possible in the circle of concern. So this is a Stoic idea of these different circles. The circle of control are the very few things in life we actually can control, whereas the circle of influence is the one that we have some control over, but not all control at the end of the day. And the circle of concern is stuff that we have concerns about, but that we really don't have any power over. And I think a lot of us spend way too much time thinking about stuff in our circle of concern rather than focusing on the things we actually have control over and can do something about. Number 18 is to find types of movement that you really enjoy and do them almost every day. And ideally, these are going to be a combination of, cardio, strength training, flexibility, and mobility work. But really, it comes down to finding something you love, finding a movement you love, and doing it almost every day. Number 19 is there's no perfect diet. There's no such thing as the perfect diet for everybody. The perfect diet for you is the diet that gives you all the nutrients you need, keeps you healthy, and that you can stick to for the rest of your life. And once you find that, you're going to be golden. Number 20 is you will never ever please everybody with any decision that you make. So you must make sure that you first of all please yourself with the decision. Make sure it's the right decision for you. And then from there, consider how it's going to affect other people around you. You do obviously have to consider how it's going to affect the people around you. But if you're not comfortable with the decision, it's not the right decision to make. Number 21 is that life really is short. I finished university, it feels like just a couple of years ago. I finished almost 20 years ago. And that is kind of terrifying. I don't quite know how the next however many years of my life are going to go, but I do know that they're probably going to go by a lot faster than I think that they are. And it'll be over before I know it. So remember that life is short. Number 22 is when you find a good friend, hold on to that person. No matter how much time or distance is between you, it's worth putting in the effort to hold on to those few good friends who really love you and know you and understand you. Number 23 is that I'm not always right. And as a very stubborn person, which is something I am working on throughout my life, this was a hard one to realize. I'm not always right, and it's getting easier to say that. Number 24 is don't be afraid to have a break from social media or even from your work if you're like me and you're self-employed. Nobody's watching you as much as you're watching yourself, and the world will still be there when you get back. You need to take care of yourself, so don't be afraid to step away and just have a bit of quiet time to be by yourself and with yourself. Number 25 is to never stop learning and trying new things. Humans really thrive on novelty. It's really important to our happiness and our health, so don't ever stop learning and trying new exciting things in your life. For example, one of the things that I would like to try in the not too distant future is kite surfing, because it looks really fun. So that's on my list. What's on yours? Number 26, and this is to those of you who are younger than me. Get fit now. Get fit now. The younger you can get fit and stay that way, the healthier and better you will feel in your body as you get older, because there comes a point where you will start to feel your age. So get fit as young as you can. No matter what age you are right now, start now and get fit and stay that way for the rest of your life. Number 27 is to eat the chocolate and drink the gin or the wine or whatever it is, but do it in moderation. And this goes for every food, everything that we consume, not just food, but media and everything else that comes into our lives. Moderation is where it's at. Number 28 is that it's almost impossible. It's not impossible, but it's almost impossible to convince somebody of something via logical reason if they didn't use logic and reason to get to that belief in the first place. If that belief is based on emotion is probably what you're going to need to invoke in order to help them change their mind. Number 29 is that inspiration is for amateurs. Professionals show up and do the work every day, day after day, week after week, month after month, and year after year. If there's something you want to achieve, you just need to show up and do the work. Stop waiting for inspiration to come along. Number 30 is another quote. How we spend our days is how we spend our lives. It's true. Are you spending your days the way that you want to spend your life? Number 31 is that life is an experiment. Everything is an experiment. Are you experimenting regularly with aspects of your life? Your exercise, your diet, your work routine, your sleep, your hobbies, the things you're learning, your relationships. Everything is one big experiment for the rest of your life. Don't feel like you have to get everything perfect or worked out or right. And if something was right now, maybe it won't be right in 5 years' time. Keep trying and experimenting. Number 32 is that you have a finite amount of willpower every day. So make sure to spend it wisely and spend it on the things that are most important first. Because if you don't do the most important things first, by the time you get through the rest of the day, you'll probably find that you have depleted your willpower to the point where you just don't do the thing. Number 33, and this goes out to all the creatives like me out there, have a hobby that you don't monetize. Once you monetize a hobby, it's not a hobby anymore, it's work. So make sure that if you do monetize your hobby, that you have a new hobby that you just do for the joy of it. Number 34, you can't make somebody else do something, even if it's good for them. This can be a hard one to learn. Number 35, once you have enough money to be comfortable and live a comfortable lifestyle, the lifestyle that you really want, it really doesn't matter anymore, and it probably won't motivate you anymore. I mean, it's true for me anyway. Once I reached the point where I was making enough money, I'm not really motivated to work harder and make more, because why? Why spend my time slaving away trying to make more money when I could be doing other things with my life? So you may find that's true for you as well. Number 36, mental and physical health are the same thing. I don't know why we separate them in our culture. I think it's so artificial. And the more I learn about health, the more I realize how incredibly intertwined those two things are. Your mental health affects your physical body. Your physical health affects your mental health. They are really one and the same. So by working on one, you're going to also be working on the other. Think of them as the same thing. You're one organism. Your mind is part of your body. Don't artificially separate them. Number 37 is don't do anything just because your society or your culture tells you it's the right thing to do. You have to decide for yourself. Analyze the things that are coming at you from culture and decide whether they're things that you want to internalize or things that you don't agree with and don't want to take on board. This can be really hard when the things that are coming at you are things that you just don't agree with. But I think to be true to ourselves and have integrity, this is a really important thing. And it's also really important if the things coming at you from society are trying to twist you into something that you really aren't. Number 38 is that success really isn't about money as far as I'm concerned. Yes, money matters. We need to have enough money to be comfortable and have a roof over our head and food to eat and enough to pay our bills. But that's not the definition of success. The amount of money in your bank account doesn't really matter past that point. I believe that success is freedom and time. Freedom to do what you want with your life and the time to do it. Number 39. Lying to yourself will always end up backfiring because the cognitive dissonance will break through eventually and you'll have to reckon with the lies that you've been telling yourself. You need to be ruthlessly and brutally honest with yourself, even if those are things you need to keep to yourself. But even if you have to lie to somebody else, which, I don't really think is a good idea as most of the time. I'm definitely a fan of honesty, but that starts with being honest with yourself and not letting yourself believe your own lies. Number 40 is to don't ever relinquish the locus of control in your life to somebody else. I don't care who they are. It could be the person you love most in the world. Don't do it. The only person who has the power to make changes and control your life is you. And that's it. Those are my 40 lessons from my first 40 years on this planet. I'm interested to see what I'll learn next year. Thanks so much for watching. My name's Jess Van Den. I'll be back again with another video very soon. Bye for now.